So I'm going to teach you about dark pricing psychology in this video. Have you ever seen an item that's heavily discounted? For instance, it was $600, this item, and now it's $150. And you probably thought to yourself, wow, that's an incredible deal. But here's the trick, that $600, the initial price, is actually there to mess with your brain. And it's there because it actually makes $150 feel cheap, even if it's actually still expensive. And this trick has a name in behavioral science. It's called anchoring. And today I'm going to show you how it works and how you can use it in your own business in a really honest and ethical way. And so by the end of this video today, you'll know why your brain falls for these anchors, how big brands use these anchors every day on you and it affects your own psychology, and how to use anchoring yourself to sell more without actually being pretty sneaky and pretty shady about it. So first of all, I'm just going to define what anchoring is. What is anchoring? Anchoring means the first number you see sticks in your mind, and that number changes how you see everything after it. So for example, if you're out shopping for an item of clothes and you see a $600 jacket, and then next to it you see a $150 one. The $150 one looks cheap, but if you first saw a $50 jacket next to a $151, you would think the $151 actually looked expensive. So it's the same product, but a different feeling, and that right there is called anchoring. So Sainsbury's is a massive supermarket in the UK. They used this trick perfectly. They sold a delivery pass for £7 per month, but instead of saying pay £7 per month and you can get, unlimited deliveries to your door, they wrote save £168 a year first, and that £168 a year made the £7 following it seem cheap. It made it feel like a great bargain. And the result of that simple little anchoring effect there was over £2.1 million more in sales every single year, just from changing how the numbers looked and how the perception of the numbers were and how the feeling of the numbers were. So why does this work? Psychologists say we make fast decisions using the first thing we see. Basically, that's how we operate as human beings. And that first number actually becomes the anchor. So every other price feels big or small compared to that number. That's why restaurants add one super expensive wine. You'll see on the menu, it's like $500 bottle of, house red, right? And they do that because it makes the others actually seem really fair in price. But if you were to get those same bottles of wine from a supermarket, you'd probably pay way less. But they know that if they have that expensive wine on the menu, you'll see it and it will make everything else seem really fair in comparison. And it's all about how the brain compares things, basically. And I always laugh to myself about this, right? Because this effect happens to me all the time. I am basically a massive victim of the anchoring effect. I will happily walk into a coffee shop every day, right, and spend £4.50 on a latte without thinking twice. But then when I run out of coffee at home, like instant coffee, and I go to the supermarket, and suddenly I find myself looking at the £6 jar of instant coffee and thinking, that's too expensive, right? Because there's a £3 one there, which seems good enough, right? And it's ridiculous to think about because I'm talking about that, a £6 jar of coffee, basically that could last me a whole month, is too expensive. When I go and buy a £4.50, little cup of coffee from the coffee shop every single day. It's the same product, it's the same caffeine, but my brain's using two different anchors. In the cafe, I'm comparing the £4.50 to the other cafe prices, so it feels normal. But in the supermarket, I'm comparing the £6 jar to cheaper jars, so it feels overpriced. And that's anchoring in real life. The price didn't change, but my reference point did. And I live and breathe behavioral science, right? I know how to spot all these biases. And the thing is, I know this is happening to me and I still don't change the way that I feel because it's an automatic feeling, right? So this is how you can use this ethically and use it in your own business. And the trick is, I see a lot of different businesses and companies make this mistake. But if you're offering products or you're offering services, you show your best offer first, so it makes everything afterwards look great value. So you use real comparisons. So for example, if you have, I don't know, a service-based product and you have itemized exactly what this service is worth, but you're offering it for less, you could put up front, this service is worth $500, right? But it's yours for $300, right? So it seems cheaper. But be honest, you don't want to make up fake prices or fake discounts because that actually kills the trust. But if you can accurately say, like, this is worth etc. amount, and we're giving it to you for etc. amount, the anchoring should make people feel confident and not actually tricked. It's just a simple little trick that you can apply to your business, and it doesn't cost anything to do. And as you can see with the Sainsbury's example, it actually made them £2.1 million in a single year, right? And that's recurring revenue, so it'll happen every single year. Anchoring makes your prices look like a deal, but to really make people buy, you actually need something more powerful. You need something called scarcity and urgency. And that's what pushes people to act now and not later. So if you want to learn how to do that without being pushy and without being, you know, a scammy business that constantly throws things down people's throats, right? If you want to use it ethically and in a way which actually builds trust, watch my next video, which is 3 urgency triggers that make people buy now without feeling pushed. Click it on your screen and I will see you in there. Take care.